when you're connected, there's this kind of, and you see it in natural ecosystems where there's such a connection to the field that they don't over predate, or there's these kind of checks and balances. And we've become so apex that we've been able to override kind of the natural order of things, like the natural way that things were kept in balance. Like we have the ability to predate our world out of fucking existence. And that's why we have to really become aware of this. And it's important. It's important to find that place within ourselves, take a good look, like face to face, and that was another one of my deep prayers, is just to look face to face at every aspect of the totality of self, the totality of, and in doing so, you see the totality of the collective as well. If you look deeply enough in yourself, you'll see all of it. And you have to look at that without flinching in order to actually be able to operate in it. And some of the stuff is it's always going to be there. Like it's the desire to have some kind of conflict. It's in us. Look at all the video games we create, right? Like there's conflict built into the stories we like, all the stories we like on TV and in movies, the video games we create. And that can even be recreated in our ceremonies as well. And, I have to be aware too that so we had a little ecstatic dance where you dress up as your shadow, and just for fun, like express some part of yourself. And, I put on a furry leather hat with a big tail on it, and I was kind of embodying, I had a fake fur. It was like a fake wolf fur, spirit hood. I was like, I'm going as Genghis Khan today. And cause there is a little Genghis Khan in me. I was obsessed with him when I was like 10 years old, and he did horrible shit, horrible shit. But there was some part of me that liked the idea of the ride, the call of 1,000 horses, who could ride through, who is the baddest of the bad on the horse. And I play that out on the volleyball court or on the basketball court. And it's just about how do we do this in a good way, in a healthy way, not getting lost in our desire to do it, but just express it in a higher octave. And one thing you always said that separates what can be good and beneficial and valuable to the other side, which is actually the real, actual dark side, is does it have a giggle in it? And that was, I always remember you saying that. It's like, does it have a giggle in it? Is there a place where you stop and just, in the heat of battle on the court, like something happened and you just kind of fucking laugh, or in sexuality, if you're playing out a power exchange role, like, is there a place where you just can stop and laugh and understand and see yourself in honesty and know, like, we're playing a fun game here. And that's, I think, where we need to get to, where exercise these aspects of self, but do it in a game. Allow myself to be Genghis Khan in an ecstatic dance, and then just be absolutely generous, gracious, person of the best service that I can in real life. But allow myself in that moment to snarl and howl at the moon and feel what that feels like, and do it in a dance in this kind of context. And then put the hat away, put the coat back on a shelf, and then just go about just kind of bouncing around life.
We got to deal with every aspect of ourselves. We have to open up to everything that drives us. We have to make friends with it. We have to understand it. We have to understand our ancestors and what drove them, where they are in our stories and their mythologies, how we relate to that and what we need. If we're just peaceful and the rest of the world is going to be warring, we're going to get slaughtered. All the peaceful societies have been slaughtered by other societies that weren't peaceful. It was too easy just to pick up a rock and then a bigger rock and then technology on technology to create a war machine so vast that it could just perfect slaughtering each other. It's just too simple for that. We have to find within ourselves a way to ultimately deal with every single aspect of what's inside us and what our motivations are, and then learn to actually mature with that. Not just have to act them out in a holistic or a total way. That's what the Giggle's about, right? The Giggle's about realizing that there's a crack in the darkness or in the dominance that says, hey, there's something else going on here. Ultimately, it leads back to source, where you want to say, hey, source, can you dominate yourself? You're all powerful. No, you can't. You can't loop back around on yourself and dominate yourself, source. Like, give it up.
Yeah.
Like, we got to stop the demigod gains at some point when it becomes detrimental to absolutely everything.
Right.
So when that comes, I don't think we're quite there yet, because right now we're playing the polarity games at the biggest level, strongest level ever in history.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just, they're tightening the rope. When the rope will snap, I don't know. And what will come from it, though, is ultimately, I think, the transformation that we're talking about.
Yeah, right.